Hello grade 9. Welcome to the week 2 of our science class. So the topic that we'll have today is about female reproductive system. Okay, before we go to our topic, let us review first the topic that we had last week, which is about the male reproductive system. So the parts of your male reproductive system are your testis, your epididymis, your vas deferens, the seminal vesicle, your prostate gland, your urethra, and your penis. Okay. Also, we'll review about the sperm production. So your sperm production starts when the sperm develop as a tiny round cells in seminous tubules in your testicles. Okay. So the hormones from your testicles and pituitary gland help the sperm to mature. So what are these hormones? So your FSH and your LH. And then after that, they will travel to epididymis and develop further for several weeks. And then after that, they will migrate to your vas deferens. And then after that, they will travel to your seminal gland where they will be nourished by seminal or semen, your fluid, okay, the semen. Then after that, they will travel to your prostate gland and mix with the prostate fluids. And they will exit through your urethra during the ejaculation. So that's the process of sperm production to ejaculation. Okay, so let us read and spell the vocabulary words that we are going to use for this topic. Number one is your vulva. So how do you spell vulva? Vulva is spelled as V-U-L-V-A. So your vulva is the outer part of your reproductive system of the female, okay? And it is composed of three. So the labia minora, labia majora, and your clitoris. So labia minora is spelled as L-A-B-I-A-M-I-N-O-R-A. That's labia minora. Labia majora, L-A-B-I-A, labia majora, M-A-J-O-R-A, majora. So labia majora. Next is clitoris. So clitoris is spelled as C-L-I-T-O-R-I-S, clitoris. Next is follicles. So follicles is spelled as F-O-L-L-I-C-L-E-S, follicles. Ovulation. Ovulation is spelled as O-V-U-L-A-T-I-O-N, ovulation. Next is your corpus luteum. So corpus luteum is spelled as corpus, C-O-R-P-U-S, corpus, luteum, L-U-T-E-U-M, luteum. So corpus luteum. The next word is uterus. Uterus is spelled as U-T-E-R-U-S, uterus. Next is your cervix. Cervix is spelled as C-E-R-V-I-X, cervix. The last one is your vagina. Spell the word vagina, so V-A-G-I-N-A, vagina. Okay, so let us go to your female reproductive system, which is our topic today. So these are composed of your endometrium, your ovary, your cervix, okay, your uterus, the vagina, and the vulva. So the three parts of your vulva are, so you know that vulva is um, the outer part of your female reproductive system that is composed of your labia minora, labia majora, and your clitoris. So some examples of your female reproductive system are your uterus, okay, your fallopian tube, your fimbriae, the ovary, your clitoris here, and the vagina. So let us define one by one the parts of your female reproductive system. So let us go first for the external part of your reproductive system. Okay, so number one is your vulva. So vulva is the outer part of the female genitals, or the outer part of your female reproductive system. So the female external genitals are together known as your vulva. Again, the female external genitals are together known together, okay? together known as your vulva. So as you can see here, this in this picture, this is where the vulva is located. Okay. Okay, so let us go to the parts of your vulva. So your external genitals or your vulva. So first is your labia majora. So labia majora, it cover and protect the genital area. So this one is the what you call your labia majora. Okay. Next one is your labia minora. So it's a thin membrane of folded skin just outside the wall of the vaginal opening. So labia minora is just this part. Okay. So this one is your labia minora. Next will be your clitoris. So it's a short shaft with a sensitive tip for arousal. It is also covered by a folded skin. So this one is what you call your clitoris. So let us go now to the internal parts of your reproductive system. Okay. Some examples of your internal female reproductive system are your uterus, the uterine lining, which is your endometrium, the fallopian tube, ovary, cervix, and your vagina. So first, let us go to the ovaries. So ovaries are female reproductive organs. Again, ovaries are your female reproductive organs. It produces egg and female hormones, and it contains many follicles. So these follicles protect the eggs. So these are in this picture, this is what you call your ovaries. This is where your ovaries are located. So your ovaries produces egg cells. So egg cells, these are released each month by the ovary from puberty until your menopausal stage. And a total of 400 to 500 eggs are released during that span of time. When you say span of time, it refers to the time wherein you're in your puberty until your menopausal stage. Okay, so what is an ovarian cycle? So an ovarian cycle usually lasts for 28 days and is only interrupted by pregnancy and continues until menopause. So the cycle of producing the egg cells of the ovary, or what you call your ovarian cycle, usually lasts for 28 days, and it is only stopped during their pregnancy, but it continues until your menopausal stage. Okay, so during the first phase of your ovarian cycle, the egg matures within a follicle. So as you know that this follicle is the one that is protecting the eggs until it matures. So at that midpoint of the cycle, the egg is released from the ovary into the uterus in a process called your ovulation. So when the ovary, um, when the egg is released from the ovary to uterus, okay, it is what you call your ovulation. Again, when the eggs are released from your ovary going to the uterus, the, the process what you call your ovulation. So this is how an ovarian cycle will look. Okay, so from a follicle, the follicle is the one that protects the egg until it matures. So as you can see here, there's a maturing follicle already. So when the egg matures, the follicle matures, after that, the egg will be released to the uterus from the ovaries. So this is known as your ovulation. Again, so when the egg is released from your ovary going to your uterus, it is what you call your ovulation. And then this follicle will transform into your corpus luteum. So your corpus luteum, you will discuss this later. And then after that, there will be deterioration of the corpus luteum, or it will disappear. So following the ovulation, the follicle forms to a structure called your corpus luteum. Okay, again, following the ovulation, the follicle forms a structure called your corpus luteum. So what is your corpus luteum? So your corpus luteum is this structure produces hormones to prepare the uterus for pregnancy if fertilization occurs. Again, corpus luteum. This structure produces hormones to prepare the uterus for pregnancy if fertilization occurs. When you say fertilization, it's the union of the egg cell and the sperm cell. When the egg cell when the sperm cell fertilizes the egg cell, that's what you call your fertilization. So you can see here that this yellow here is what you call your corpus luteum. So it is located inside the ovary. Okay, this is produced by your ovary. So the next part is your fallopian tube. So the fallopian tube transports the egg cell or zygote from the ovary to the uterus or your womb. So again, the fallopian tube transport egg cell or your zygote from the ovary to the uterus. So from the egg from your ovaries, okay, when there's an ovulation already where the eggs will be transported to your uterus, from where the egg is traveling, it's what you call your fallopian tube. It is also where the sperm cell will meet the egg cell, which is transform the eggs into a zygote. Okay, so after that it will go to your uterus or your womb. So the next part of your female reproductive system is what you call your uterus. So your uterus has an inner layer in which a fertilized egg implants or attaches. Okay, again, uterus is an inner layer in which a fertilized egg implants or attaches. So this is the uterus. So you have here the fundus of your uterus. Okay, here the body of your uterus. Okay, so your endometrium and your myometrium. So these are the parts of your uterus. So it is where the baby is implanted, or it is where the baby will be attached or grow. Okay, the next part is your cervix. So the cervix is the one that connects the uterus to the vagina. So as you can see here, this is the uterus part. So this is the uterus, this is the vagina. So here in the middle is what you call your cervix. So it is the one that connects the uterus and the vagina. So the last part of the internal female reproductive system that we're going to discuss is about the vagina. So the vagina receives the penis during intercourse and serve as the birth canal. So as you can see here, this is the vagina. Okay, so it receives the penis during the intercourse, and it will serve as the birth canal. It will where the baby will pass through during birth. Okay, so this is all for today. So for additional information about the topic, please view the video attached in the materials of your Google Classroom, and please answer the quiz attached in your assignment of your Google Classroom. So thank you everyone, and hope to see you soon.